Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I am unmuted. Is that okay? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Let me share my screen. Let me first share and then. Okay, so you can all see, right? Okay. Right, Hare Krishna. So today's topic is going to be happiness, chased or graced. So we'll see what it is. So I'd like to start with a story of this bird. So this bird is being chased by these other birds for its life. And this bird is trying to get away, and wherever it goes, these birds are chasing it. Whatever turns it turns, wherever it tries to take shelter, these birds are not leaving. And in desperation, he's running hither and thither, and finally it hits upon a big branch of a tree, and then it almost falls down, but somehow it recovers itself and then again gains strength and starts to fly away. And it's still trying to escape these birds who are all trying to attack him. But then suddenly he sees behind there are no more birds. No birds are following him. What might have happened? Why there is sudden change? Earlier these birds were attacking him as if to kill him, and suddenly something happened and there are no more birds chasing him. What might have happened? Any guesses? Intelligent guesses? So this bird, before flying away, he picked up a piece of meat, and it was flying away in a hope to go to some secluded place and enjoy it in solitude, all by himself. And these birds saw that. They were also vying for the same piece of meat. And when the moment they saw that this bird has taken it away, and they fell behind him, and they started to chase him, and ready to attack and pounce on him to get that piece of meat. The moment this bird hit this tree, this piece of meat fell from its beak, and the bird didn't realize it because it was running away in fear. And then finally it realized that the meat is not in his mouth anymore, and all the other birds are swooning down onto that piece of meat, fighting for it. So that's the simple instructive story. So what do we learn from this? Any lessons from this? What does that piece of meat represent? What is happening here? Huh? Possessions. So we're not ready to share them. Very good. Anything else? In this, you're saying something. Give them what they want and he can be set free. Right, very good, very good. Yeah. Share with everyone. Very good. Anyone else? See, this material world, there are only fixed assets. There is one position wide after by 100 people. One house, open house, wide after by 1,000 people. One promotion fought after by 10 people in the same team. 100% market share, only 100%. And there are 1,000 companies trying to get to that market share. And everybody else, whoever gets that market share, everybody else is trying to grab onto, catch from that share and pounce on those people and put them down. That is the nature of this world. You try to chase, I want this, I want this, I want this. And a lot of effort you put, you get that. But you don't know how many enemies you made in that process. And how much distress is following you in that process. So in our mind we think, yes, we have obtained whatever I want, whatever I dreamt, but there are so many enemies made. So if I told you, if you chase happiness, fill in the blank, dash chases you. Huh? Problems, yes. And then she's saying, distress chases you. If you chase happiness in this world, distress chases you. Like if you come in the morning, how many of you have been to Mangalarti in the morning? Like all of you, right? Normally, if it takes, let's say, average 20 minutes to come to temple, morning time, how much it takes? Half the time, literally. All the lights are green, practically nobody on the road, and calm, beautiful, serene atmosphere. Why there are nobody trying to take advantage of the time? Why? Everybody wants to hit the prime time. Evening time is a traffic time. Morning time, why nobody is there to take advantage? Because that's the nature of this material world. We leave God-given things which are in abundance for our happiness, graced to us by God, which is available for free. We can enjoy nature how much ever we want. But we don't want that. We want only selective what we have in mind for my passionate enjoyment. Isn't it? So now, Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, in this connection. Anybody knows how to read Sanskrit? Want to try anybody? Yadruchalabha santushto dvandvathito vimatsaraha samaha siddhau asiddhau cha kritva pina nibadhyate. So Devansh, you want to read the translation?
He who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own, a God who is free from duty and does not envy, who is steady both in success and failure, is never entangled although performing actions.
Very good. So yadrucha labha santushto. So very carefully read these words in the translation. He who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord. So Prabhupada says in the purport to explain it, a Krishna conscious person does not make much endeavor even to maintain his body. So I highlighted much because he's not saying don't make any endeavor, but he's saying do not make much endeavor. Be satisfied with what comes of its own accord. And then he says, He is satisfied with gains which are obtained of their own accord. He neither begs nor borrows, but he labors honestly as far as is in his power, and is satisfied with whatever is obtained by his own honest labor. He is therefore independent in his livelihood. It's a very important, beautiful instruction from Bhagavad Gita. So there was this king. Anybody knows what's happening out here? The king is in distress, looking at something. Somebody is on deathbed. So there was this king called Chitraketu. So this king, obviously king, he had all riches. He had innumerable wives, and he had of affluent kingdom. But there was one want, the classic problem. Everybody in this world, we all want something. We are not satisfied with what we have. If I get one thing, I'll be happy. Just one thing, बस. अगर वो आ रहा है तो मेरा जीवन सेट हो जाता. So this king also, even though he had everything, he was thinking one thing is missing. What is that? He could not get a child. Even though he tried so many ways. It was not in his destiny. He married so many wives. A son was not to be had. So a sage comes one day into his midst, and the king is in distress. And the sage asks, "What happened?" "Oh, this whatever I try, I'm not getting a son. I think my life is of no use." You have so much kingdom, you are a responsible king. God has given you, blessed you. Do your duty as a king. Be happy. Some things are not meant for everyone. No, no, no. I want son at whatever cost. So this sage, the king said, "Can you bless me with a son? You're after all a sage." And the sage said, "The son is not in your destiny." No, no, no. I want it at whatever cost. You can change my destiny. So he said, "Okay, on one condition. But I'll tell you something. Are you ready for it? I'll bless you with the son." "Yes, I'm ready for anything. If I get the son, I'm ready. I don't care anything else." The sun which gives you happiness, the same sun will plunge you into distress. And he thought, okay, maybe a son will become naughty. He will become, not very obedient. It's okay, it's the nature of boy. It's okay, chalega. At the most, what will happen? Okay, let me have a son. Okay, Angira said, okay, you will have your son. And so he blessed the first wife, Kritadyuti, and this woman, she very soon begot a son, and everybody was so happy. The king was so happy. He got the son he desired, and he started to neglect the other wives. And the first wife became his most favorite wife, and the other wives started to become envious. After all, the king is neglecting us. So they schemed the most horrible thing that we could imagine. We wanted to kill the child because of the child, the king is giving so much importance to his wife. So they schemed and poisoned the child. And the child died. And the nurse, he went to pick up the child, and she was shocked, and she fell down and started to cry. And then the wife came, she felt unconscious. And then the king came, he felt unconscious, and he couldn't believe. And he was sobbing, he was unconsolable. Everybody were crying. And at that time, Angira comes again, the sage, but this time along with Narada Muni. And mystically, Narada Muni brings the child back to life. And he asks the child, "My dear son, who are you? Why are you making your parents cry like this by leaving your body so suddenly?" And then this son, he starts to speak, the spirit soul. Who are my parents? In which life parents are you talking about? I have taken innumerable births in different bodies, in animal species, in demigod species, in human species. Innumerable births I have taken. I have had innumerable set of parents. Which parents are you talking about? And then all these people were hearing this in amazement. What is happening? It is the truth, isn't it? Once the person leaves the body, the parents are past parents. We don't even remember who we were in the previous life, isn't it? And who we will become in the next life. And he continues to speak philosophy, and finally he again leaves the body and goes away. And then they all open their eyes, spiritual eyes. And then Narada Muni starts to instruct him with spiritual knowledge about the futility of this material existence. And he becomes self-realized. And then Angira says, when I came first, I wanted to give you spiritual instruction, but you are not ready to take it because you are chasing something that was not in your destiny. You are chasing illusion, illusory happiness. You are going after it. Whatever I tell you at that time, nothing will go into you. But now you have become realized, and now everything will go into you. So, what do we learn from this? We should be satisfied with whatever destiny has in store for us. Not yes, unnecessarily we should not worry about things which are not in our control. Yes, very good. Anyone else? We'll be in a position to absorb higher knowledge. As long as the hankering is there for achieving material happiness, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam tayapahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhauna vidhiyate. For those who are enamored by Bhoga and Aishwarya. What is Bhoga and Aishwarya? Opulence, wealth, material happiness. For them, spirituality is very difficult. So in Bhagavad Gita 18.54, Krishna mentions, Brahma bhutah prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. If you want to become prasannatma, when in movies they see, right? When somebody is doing tapasya and God comes. What's my prasanna hua? I am pleased with you. So a spiritualist should always be prasannatma, happy. And for that, there are two conditions. Two things he does. Na sochati, na kankshati. What are the two things a spiritualist does? Na sochati, na kankshati. He does not lament for anything, nor does he hanker for anything or desire like she was saying, desire unnecessarily. So you see what Prabhupada says, such a person, right? In the material concept of life, when one works for sense gratification, there is misery. Like what happened for Chitraketu. He was working for sense gratification, but misery chased him. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. Why? The devotee in Krishna consciousness has nothing to lament or desire. Why? Since God is full, a living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. Does Krishna have any want? Does Krishna ever think, oh, I need to have a child, like Chitraketu is thinking? Only when I get a child, I will be complete. Does God have any want? He has everything in abundance. God is full, otherwise, He is not God. So, naturally, a devotee, see what Prabhupada says, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no, since God is full, a living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. He's just like a river cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always fill in the blank. Who can fill in the blank? Okay, very good answer. But Prabhupada, he puts a beautiful word there. Any other guesses? Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always happy,
Content,
complete,
content,
fulfilled,
content.
contented. Beautiful, beautiful words, right? But Prabhupada chose to write this even beautiful word, starts with J, O, joyful, joyful, yes. And then he does not lament for any material loss or gain because he is dash in service of the Lord. Always is also a good answer. But this word
Always
starts with F.
engaged. Engaged.
Somebody saying engaged. Who said that engaged?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Swati Mataji. Okay. Engaged, I said it starts with F. Yeah, full. Full is the answer. Because he is full in the service of, he's always feeling fulfilled or full. He does not feel any want. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So why I'm showing this on the screen? What is this, Devansh? Have you seen this ever? Oh, you've seen this? I thought only our generation saw this. Did you see this? You saw it. So when there is a cricket game, the captains come and they spin the coin, right? So the captain says heads or tail. This is, I think, tail, right? So whatever they say, they want only that to fall, right? But inevitably, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. So why I'm saying this is because in this world, happiness and distress are two sides of the same coin. You may call heads, but is there a guarantee heads will come? You're chasing for heads, but tail may come or head may come. Sukham maindriyakam daitya deha yogena dehinam sarvatra labhyate daivad yada dukkham ayatnataha. Prahlad Maharaj says, in this world, we are all hankering for sukha, but automatically dukkha is happening. Does anybody chase disease? How much ever you take care, disease will come. Anybody chasing death, but death will come. Old age will come. Similarly, sukha also will come. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, it's most profound truth. Sukha will come to you. Even if you are sitting at home, according to destiny, whatever is destined, sukha will come to you. Why you are working hard, performing so many vikarma, horrible sinful activities for the same sukha that you are destined to anyway? So, in this story, there was this very charitable king. One day he became known of his hidden wealth from his ancestors. There was so much wealth to give away. And he was in a very charitable mood. He called everybody and said, whatever you want, you ask, I'll give. And all the citizens were coming and they were asking, can I get this? Can I get that? And then he said only one thing. He displayed all the different things, some gold biscuit, some jewelry, some necklace. You ask whatever, but only one thing you ask. And people are asking, okay, I want that gold biscuit, I want this jewelry, I want this, I want that. And he was giving like anything because there was so much of wealth. And so this poor man came and the king was asking, what do you want? He's thinking, what do you want? Tell me, I can give anything you want. He's still thinking, I don't want anything that is presented here. Can you grant me something which is not here? And the king was shocked. I cannot give you anything which is not here. But he said, no, you can give. It is in your capacity to give. He said, yes, if it is in my capacity to give, I'll give you. So what is that you want? He said, I want you to come to my humble home and stay there for 3 days. And this was a shock. Shock because king was expecting him to ask something big, that he could live forever happily. But here was a very amusing thing he was asking. And the ministers were also amused. What is that he is asking? And the ministers huddled, the king huddled and discussed so many things. The king said, I gave the word. After all, it's my capacity. Okay, what to do? Okay, I'll grant your wish. But on the minister said one condition. Give him one condition. What is that? Your wish will be fulfilled only after 6 months. And the man said, okay, I'll wait for 6 months. And they waited 6 months and his wish got fulfilled. And then the king was asking him at the end, he went and stayed there for 3 days and he was leaving and this poor man was happy. And the king asked, you could have asked me anything that I had. Why this peculiar request? What did you achieve from this? Anybody? Why? He asked like that.
He got more than he could have asked.
He got more than he could have asked. Why?
Because his house was arranged to fit the king's life.
Ah. So they
The roads
arranged.
were built. The roads
Huh?
were built for the king to go.
Right. Very good answers. Puja Mataji, you're saying. Ah, correct. As all of you said, the ministers asked for 6 months. Why? Because the place he was living is a downtrodden road, very dilapidated conditioned houses, no facilities, proper facilities, no gardens, no landscape. Everything was so poor. Now, how can king go there and live? They needed time to put proper roads, have landscape, gardens, water facilities, electricity facilities. If your king is going in the house, there has to be a palace built. Surroundings have to be nice. All of that had to be done. And so by one stroke, he not only got anything enough for himself, but for everybody else in his neighborhood. See, beautiful, right? So what do we learn from this? In contrast to what Chitraketu did, in contrast to what the bird did earlier, how smart was this poor person in comparison to that? What different did he do? Things for others. Think for others. Okay. But I can also think for my own family and chase after that wealth. So let's see this. Huh? If everyone around you are happy, you are happy. It's very similar to what Girish was saying. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Very interesting answers. But I want you to understand even higher principle. Optimum utilization of the king's capacity. Anybody online?
Invite king to your house. Like that. Invite Krishna to your house.
Ah. When king is there,
With Krishna will come all the fortune and glory, like together in
if
parallel life. All the material
Krishna,
gains will default be
yes,
there when Krishna is there.
yes, correct.
Krishna is the ultimate creator. So nothing can be more than him. So you bring Krishna home, everything will follow you, follow him.
Yes, just like when king comes, all facilities of king will come with him automatically. All servants, all amenities, all comforts. Similarly, when Krishna comes to you, everything, all his energies, all his Lakshmi Devis is the eternal consort of Krishna. So that is what here it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam. Jayati tedhikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashvadatrahi daita drisyatam dikshutavakas tvai dhrita savas tvam vichinvate. So the gopis are praying to Krishna. Oh beloved, your birth in the land of Vraja has made it exceedingly glorious. And thus Indira, the goddess of fortune, always resides here. So, where there is Krishna, who always resides there? Indira. Indira means Lakshmi Devi, a goddess of fortune. We are all seeking happiness, but distress is obtained. If you are seeking Krishna, Lakshmi Devi automatically is there. Krishna means happiness is automatically there. So be smart, even materially speaking, like this smart person calling the king. So, what does this picture convey?
So bhakta is the
Ultimately,
final.
the goal for all these people ultimately resides in loving devotional service to Krishna.
That's not what I intended, but yes, you are right in one sense, but that's not the intent of this picture.
All paths finally lead to bhakti. So bhakti is the best path.
That's eventually all paths must lead to bhakti path. Good answer, but that's not what I was intending from this. Any other guesses? Bhakti is the highest. Yes, all of you are answering in a similar way. I succeeded in misleading you, even though it's not my intent.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can I give a shot at this?
Oh, yes.
So I think the photo is that In Bhakti Yoga, you will find Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. And eventually, I mean, all of them are, their main purpose is to get you back to Godhead. But if you practice Bhakti Yoga, you'll immediately get back.
Oh, very good answer. Very good answer. It's like slightly different than what they all told, which is very correct what you said. Very nice, Ripon. But I want to give my perspective. See, this karmis, gnanis, yogis. So karmi means what? He's trying to get material happiness by his work, hard work. Gnani means he figured out that what is this material happiness? Let me become liberated from this material world. Let me merge into impersonally forgiving. Let me attain mukti. Mukti. Dharmartha kama moksha. Anybody heard that before? This Chatuh Purushartha, they say. Dharmartha kama moksha. You perform dharma, you go to temple, do worship, perform rituals so that you get a ardha means wealth. God gives you good wealth, takes care of your desires, by which you take care of kama. Kama means your desires are fulfilled, live a good life. And finally, you have to attain moksha, become freed from this material world. That's what they say usually. So, in one sense, these karmis, gnanis, yogis, they are all trying to attain moksha or mukti. They are working so hard. Mukti Devi, please grant us mukti. Lakshmi Devi, please grant us Lakshmi. You can put Lakshmi Devi also, it's the same thing. Mukti Devi, Lakshmi Devi. Either they are seeking for Lakshmi Devi or Mukti Devi, isn't it? Do you agree? They are all seeking for that. But see what Mukti Devi is doing. Mukti Devi with folded hands is asking a devotee, how can I serve you? Muktihi mukhalitanjali sevate asman. Bilvamangal Thakur in his Prabhupada quotes this many, many times. Mukti is sought after by everybody in this world and it's not easily available. But that Mukti Devi is with folded hands asking a devotee, how can I serve you? That means a devotee is already on the liberated platform. So Prabhupada says in this is from Bhagavatam Shloka. Anybody likes to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can I read?
Yeah, please.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Devotees always bathe themselves in devotional service in order to be relieved from the various tribulations of material existence. By doing this, the devotees enjoy supreme bliss, and liberation personified comes to serve them. Nonetheless, they do not accept this service, even if it is offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. For the devotees, liberation, that is mukti, is very unimportant because having attained the Lord's transcendental loving service, they have attained everything desirable and have transcended all material desires. Hare Krishna.
You see, the loving service of the Lord is so transcendental that mukti is nothing. Everybody is trying to mukti, but for a devotee, Krishna gives mukti like anything. He's already transcended. And you don't have to read the whole thing, but I wanted to highlight this. Bilvamangal Thakur says, Muktihi mukhalitanjali sevate asman. For a devotee, mukti is not a very great achievement. Consequently, a devotee does not aspire for mukti even if it is offered by the Supreme Lord Himself. That is the highest position of a devotee. So now, I want to pose this question. So let's say there are 10 apples. Forget the color. Let's assume they're all same color or different color, doesn't matter. There are two people. So what is a way to enjoy these 10 apples by these two people equally? How can
They
they share?
share them based on the color, like five of different colors, and they can have it amongst themselves.
As I said, let's assume they are all same color. Okay. The as
Okay.
you said, they take five each and enjoy, right?
Yes, yes.
Any other way of enjoyment?
Or they can prepare a milkshake and share the milkshake with the.
Milkshake.
Or they
Adding
can distribute to the needy. Each of them can take five and distribute to the needy, and I mean, they can keep some and distribute to the needy. So in that way, they'll have the joy of sharing.
they can, yes, he's adding different points. Let's see, anybody else online?
If these two
I,
people are devotees, color
Uh,
doesn't matter, everything doesn't matter. They are already got the higher taste of Krishna, so eating these apples don't matter to them if they are devotees.
very innovative answers. Okay, anybody here locally?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
So,
Mata.
offering the apples to the Lord and then, taking the fruit and giving it as service.
Yes, very good. I think Puja Mataji was hinting at that. Very good. Let me explain this. So let's assume that these two people, one is God, one is normal living entity. So this living entity, so let's say on the left side, he offers all 10 to this right person. And this right person, he says, okay, I don't need 10. Why don't you have 5? So in the end, what happened? Both of them, they got 5 each. But see the beauty, both of them are happily eating with happiness, not with grudge, because the exchange was love, not lust. The earlier case, it was lust. Oh, grabbing, I want 5. Taking happiness. The bird taking happiness. Chitraketu taking happiness. Chasing happiness rather. So if you chase happiness, what would happen? Concomitant reactions would happen. There is distress. But if you give, particularly if you give to God and accept what God gives you in return as a grace, that does not have any reaction. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Yagnashishtasinah santo muchyante sarvakilbishaihi bhunjate te tu agham papa ye pachanti atma karanat. If you offer anything in sacrifice, yagnashishta, and take the remnants of the yagna, like we are taking prasadam, classic example. We are offering prasadam, we are shopping, we are cooking, everything we are cooking, we are offering to the Lord. Does the Lord eat everything that we are offering? He gives back. Everything He leaves out of His mercy. And the advantage is Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi. That activity frees us from all kinds of sinful reactions. But if you don't offer it and eat it, Bhunjate te tu agham papa, you are not eating that food only, you are also eating the concomitant reactions, sinful reactions. That food is obtained in so many ways, cutting down so many trees, killing so many entities, causing so much of environmental damage. So either it is food or anything we earn while working. The company is putting so many other companies into bankruptcy. Our job is coming at the cost of losing so many people's job. Our walking, our living is coming at the cost of so many people suffering. So there has to be reaction. But if you do it as an offering to the Lord, the reaction is absorbed by the Lord. this is the simple formula. So Isopanishad, the famous Upanishad, Prabhupada translated this, gave a purport. So the very important mantra. Anybody know Sanskrit would like to recite? Yes. Yes. Ishavashyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magritah kasya svidhanam. Anybody like to read English? Yes, please.
Everything animate or animate is that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things knowing well to whom they belong.
Anybody like to summarize this? The shloka? Don't have to repeat exactly, but what you understand in your own words. Who can say what they understood from this? Beautiful verse, the mantra one from Isopanishad, most important mantra. Powerful formula to live in this world. Abhishek?
Krishna is the proprietor of all the things in
Yeah.
this world. So one should take whatever is needed to maintain the body.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Nothing belongs to anyone. Just
Yes, very good. Krishna is the proprietor, nothing belongs to anyone. Just whatever is needed for your maintenance, take it as your quota. And Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport to this, and I took out only few portions. I'll read it out. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that, except for the Lord, no one is a proprietor of anything, exactly as Abhishek said. One should accept only those things that are set aside by the Lord as his quota. What does it mean? He gives the example. The cow, for instance, gives milk, but she does not drink that milk. She eats grass and straw. And her milk is designated as food for human beings. Such is the arrangement of the Lord. Thus, we should be satisfied with those things He has kindly set aside for us, and we should always consider to whom those things we possess actually belong. Actually, the animals, they don't transgress the law of nature. Only humans transgress. The cow eats only grass. He is satisfied with grass. The tiger only eats, it does not touch grass, it only takes meat. But the humans, we want everything the God has set aside for us because of our misused intelligence. That intelligence which is meant for higher purpose, we misuse it and take things which are not in our quota. Prabhupada gives other example. Take for example our dwelling, which is made of earth, wood, stone, iron, cement, and so many other material things. If we think in terms of Sri Isopanishad, we must know that we cannot produce any of these building materials ourselves. Isn't it? We cannot produce anything. We can simply bring them together and transform them into different shapes by our labor. A laborer cannot claim to be a proprietor of a thing just because he has worked hard to manufacture it. Isn't it? In modern society, there is always a great quarrel between laborers and capitalists. This quarrel has taken an international shape, and the world is in danger. Men face one another in enmity and snarl just like cats and dogs. Sri Upanishad cannot give advice to the cats and dogs, but it can deliver the message of Godhead to man through the bona fide acharyas, holy teachers. The human race should take the Vedic wisdom of Sri Upanishad and not quarrel over material possessions. One must be satisfied with whatever privileges are given to him by the mercy of the Lord. That is the conclusion I wanted to present today. What is that? One must be satisfied with whatever privileges are given to him by the mercy of the Lord. Okay, any questions or comments?
So, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Uh,
Yes.
I have a couple of questions. I'll just be patient one by one. Firstly, how do we know what is our quota? That is that's my biggest problem here.
Mhm. And then,
And you know, chasing happiness, we know that, but like if we are like a novice, we are just a beginner. Let's say I am a student and I'm aspiring. I have some aspirations and I aspire. I don't know what is my limit. When should I be content and when should I just let go?
yes,
When to not go after any desire. Like, see, there are some quotes where Krishna also says that we need to be persistent. If not for one thing, if not for once, we may get it next. Like, just like how we chant, we may not get the taste immediately, but we keep trying, we keep trying, we keep trying. But we know that, we are going to get it. But in reality, how do we know in material after when we are after material pursuits? How do we know that this is my limit, this is my goal, or this is where I need to stop? This is where I still take it as a challenge and still not give up and continue.
understood. Your name?
My name is Sachin.
Sachin, right, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, on the similar lines, what she asked, so we think about Jada and Chaitanya. Right?
Mm.
So, where to stop belongs to Jada. Jada contains our
Right.
body parts and our desire. So, on the similar lines, like how we control Jada so that we can go to the.
Correct.
No,
So, very similar questions. The answers, if you carefully followed the session, the answers are there. So, first question she asked, how do we know what is my quota? Let's take a simple example. You're eating food. Do you know when your belly is full? Yes or no? You know, right? If you stick to the quota, you don't need to visit the doctor. As Krishna is saying, Ishavashyamita. If you stick to the quota, you can be happy. But everything happens. That's why they say half of what you eat for you is for yourself, the other half is for the doctor. So, simple example. So, for food, we know what is quota. Similarly, there is qualitative quota. In the sense, patram pushpam phalam toyam, Krishna is saying, that is your quota as a human being. Vegetarian food. So, quantitative, qualitative, we know in terms of food because it's easy. In terms of money, how do we know? What is the right quota? As long as you are able to maintain. The answer is given in the first verse I quoted. Yes, this verse. See the last statement here. He neither begs nor borrows, but he labors honestly as far as is in his power and is satisfied with whatever is obtained by his own honest labor. Honest labor. Honest labor. At the same time, there has to be There should not be prayasa. He does not make, I would translate this as prayasa means unnecessary, laborious, extra work. You work nicely, honestly for 8 hours. Whatever God has given you, be satisfied. The rest of the time, you work for Krishna consciousness. That is our simple formula. Because by working hard more and more, yes, you may get material wealth. You may succeed in business, get a lot of money, but you may lose other aspects of life. Whatever sukha that might come through money, you might get dukkha through something else, your health or your spoiled relations. It balances out. In illusion, we think, let me work hard and get more and more money. Let me improve my business. Yes, you may improve your business, get more money, but you lose something else in life. Life always balances out. So Krishna is saying, be satisfied with honest labor, whatever you can work for your maintaining your body and soul together, but importantly, engage your other time in Krishna consciousness. And for that, as Swati Mataji was saying, for Krishna consciousness, you can work hard. There is no limit. But for material field, there is limit. Scriptures have said. Because if you work more, you'll get entangled in this world. But if you work more for spiritual side, there is no entanglement. So all these instructions of equanimity, becoming detached, working optimally applies on the material platform, not on the spiritual platform. So I hope that clarified these questions. Does it help, Swati Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Only one portion I still have doubt, Prabhu. Like that's my primary focus is only in material world. How do we know in various pursuits? Like you said eating. Yes, I can understand, but that eating is a very easy analogy, in my opinion. When it comes to money or business or career or even relationships, um, how do we know that this is the limit, like even if I were to raise my children, how do I know that I have this is my limit, this is where I should stop, and I should allow them to pursue their own interests
Very
without
good.
me dominating?
Of us have that question. My simple answer for that is Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te gnanam gnaninas tattvadarshinaha. You need to accept a bona fide spiritual master, and once you render service and inquire, you will be guided by the spiritual master in your life. Krishna, through the spiritual master and through the association of devotees, you may have intricate question in one aspect, other devotee may have some other aspect, but Krishna knows the answers to everything, how to guide you, how to make you balanced, how to deal with what. So all these answers will be provided if you accept initiation, accept a spiritual master, surrender, and take the guidance from the devotees in the association. Krishna will reveal everything, all the answers. But in general, the guideline is given in Bhagavad Gita. But for the detailed devotional service in practice, we should practice the life as a surrendered soul to a spiritual master. Okay?
And Prabhu, thank you so much for that answer and these texts. Like I didn't have that much time when you were showing the slides that I could go through the entire thing. Thank you so much. One question is like, how much time do we think we can engage our time in Krishna consciousness versus whatever material pursuits that we have?
Yeah, as I said, there is no. Yeah, why don't you distribute the beads meanwhile? Yeah. So as I said, there is no limit to Krishna consciousness. Krishna says in 12th chapter, Mai eva manadhatsva mai buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mai eva ata urdhvam na samshayah. 24 hours you should engage in Krishna consciousness. Kirtaniya sadahari. But because we cannot We have not come to that stage. Abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. Do abhyasa, do sadhana. You fix, take a vow. Every day I'll spend half an hour. From this new year 2025, I will dedicate half an hour every day without fail for Krishna consciousness. Whether it is hearing about Krishna or chanting, you should take a separate goal. From January 1st, I will take a goal to chant 16 rounds, 8 rounds, 4 rounds. Now we'll do one mala. So if we cannot fully engage, take a goal, take a vow, this much I want to engage, and meet it day in and day out. So for want of time, now we will end here. You can ask me other questions offline, Mataji. Thank you. So now we'll be chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Anybody coming for the first time who does not know chanting? Everybody is familiar. Oh, you don't know. Okay. Can you give the beats to